Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Now, y'all know that Thanksgiving is past, right? Y'all know that, right? But apparently, Skip Bayless is out there still roasting LeBron James, man, and it's nothing new. It's nothing new, right? Skip Bayless is the number one adversary. He's like the nemesis of LeBron James. In media, right? Pretty much for his entire career, Skip Bayless, not his entire career, pretty much since LeBron James came into the NBA, Skip Bayless was always going at LeBron James, right? He was always going at him, and he just never thought he was that dude. This is going back to his Cleveland days, Miami Heat days, all of these different things. And funny enough, before LeBron James made his big decision, Skip Bayless actually predicted that he was going to go join the Miami Heat because he felt like he needed Dwayne Wade to teach him how to win. So Skip Bayless, from what I understand, has never thought LeBron was that dude. Now, sometimes he was dead correct about him. And sometimes he goes a little bit too overboard. Sometimes he does. And I think all of us know that. Now, apparently, yesterday, the Lakers played against the Sacramento Kings. And I didn't watch that game. I didn't watch the game at all. But when I woke up, I did see the highlights, right? I saw the highlights. And when I woke up, I was a little bit like kind of groggy, like a little bit out of it. So I wasn't really paying attention too much to what I was seeing. But I did see that the game went into triple OT. And ultimately, the Lakers lost. So I was just here chilling. We had another video. This video was totally unplanned, this episode. And I was just on there skimming across the internet, but getting ready to make a lunch. And I saw a video, and it was NBA. The NBA reacts to the Lakers losing to the Sacramento Kings. So I clicked on the video, and I started seeing different people reacting. And then I started running across some of Skip Bayless's tweets, man. And I was like, yo, what is going on here? So I went to go read some of his tweets. And he just out here, like when you buttering up a chicken to fry it, right? You smacking his butt, and you're like, squeezing on it. And you just roasting it. That is basically what Skip Bayless did pretty much all throughout the game. And I never follow Skip when during the basketball. I never see what other people are doing. But yesterday, apparently, Skip Bayless was on a roll, man. So what we want to do here, we want to read some of his tweets that he had to say about LeBron James yesterday, because some of them were just flat out hilarious. So what we want to do here, we want to read some of his tweets, and then we're going to come back and react to some of the tweets and some of the things that he said. So let's get into these tweets right here. So basically, he starts off with his appetizer. Come on, LeBron, you did it again. Why can't you ever have the guts to just drive it? Get fouled and make one of two free throws to win the game. You have to run from the late game free throw line your whole career. You took another three of a brick overtime. Then he continues, LeBron missed another last second three, ! That's three in 2 games. That's the phony go for you. Then he continues on. LeBron is now 2 of 12 from the three. Then he continues. Redeem yourself, Bron. Then he continues again. LeBron finally drove it twice in the last minute, made 1 of 2 free throws, then got loose for a layup to tie. He's the greatest driver of the basketball ever, but the worst late game, close game superstar free throw shooter ever. Another overtime. And then he continues. As I predicted after LeBron's hot night in Indy, he had fallen back in love with the three, and he was looking at a 1 of 10 night next game. Actually, he was 2 of 13 tonight. He's a career 34.5% three-point shooter, below average, and now he's shooting them way more than ever before. Wait a minute, hold up. And then he had another tweet because apparently the NBA fined LeBron for some profanity that he used. I think he fined him $15,000 or something like that. And he was like, Skip Bayless wrote, "This is the face of the league?" Like question mark. Okay, hold up. Skip Bayless yesterday was he was roasting LeBron like a goat on a grill, man. No pun intended. I'm reading some of these tweets, and I'm like, yo, what did LeBron James do to you, right? What did he do to you? Now, to be fair, he brought up a point. At the end of Friday's show, he made a point because they were looking ahead to Sunday's game against the Detroit Pistons, and Skip Bayless said that LeBron fell in love with the three too much because he made a lot of threes in that game against the Indiana Pacers, and he predicted that he was going to have a poor shooting night from three because he said that's not really his forte. So to be fair to Skip, he was very observant about that fact, and apparently LeBron went out there and had a 2 of 13 night. So he was right about that, right? So here's kind of where I think this is heading to. The Lakers are going to play the Detroit Pistons on Sunday. Okay, they just lost to the Kings, right? They lost to the Kings, and if I'm looking at the NBA standings right now, the Kings have an 8-12 record. They're a 400 team. They're 4 games below 500, and the Lakers have found a way to creep back into the playoff picture. They're now, at the number 7 spot with a 10-11 record. Now, here's what's interesting: they're going to be playing against the Detroit Pistons on Sunday. The Clippers just put a beat down on the Detroit Pistons. I think they beat them 96-100 and something, right? They didn't really blow them out the building as far as scoring, but they played some great defense, and they were able to beat that team. And they're still shorthanded playing without their best player. But Serge Ibaka is back, and I saw they were able to get a very good win. Terrence Mann and these guys really stepped up and did very well. So the Clippers were able to beat this team very easily. And no one here is going to sit down and argue the fact that the Lakers have way more talent than the Clippers. I don't even think is close at this particular moment. So the Lakers are going to play the Detroit Pistons. And if they lose, and they're going to work on Monday, Skip Bayless is going to have a field day, man. He is going to have a field day. So, LeBron, I'm pleading with you. I know you'll never see this video. You got to go out there and get that win, man. Because on Monday, man, he might bring the grill out on the show, right? And he's going to be roasting him on there. He's going to take one of Shannon Sharp's goat masks, put him on top of the grill, and start roasting him because Skip Bayless is not holding back. Now, the question is, do you think it's fair, right? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think he's going overboard? In my personal opinion, I think that it is totally fine because it provides a counterbalance, at least on Undisputed, because we all know that LeBron James is Shannon Sharp is a huge supporter of LeBron James. And if you had two people like that on the show, it would just be too much, right? It would just be like, okay, this is just too much. So I think given the fact that he's such a huge opponent, a huge op of LeBron, and Shannon Sharp is a huge supporter of LeBron James, it creates a nice contrast, which leads to very spirited debates, which makes the show very interesting, and I think it makes for great TV. So from a business standpoint and from a production standpoint, I think it works well for Undisputed, and I think it's one of the reasons that show is still successful to this day after they started in 2016. They're still on the air 5 years later. So I think that's, for those intended purposes, I think it's fair. But the question is really to you guys. Do you think Skip Bayless sometimes goes a little bit overboard, or do you think for the most part he's right on the money? So what I want to know from you guys is this. Do you think he's dead wrong for constantly roasting LeBron James, or do you think that, listen, he has a point and there needs to be a voice out there that's constantly criticizing LeBron to sort of keep him honest? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, it's just Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.